Shadows crawling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lies are woven like a velvet chain, slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chests. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. We fight, we make our mark.
What's going on, everybody? Holy smokes. What? What a day. Oh my God. Are you guys ready for this one? If you haven't been following what's going on today, you are in for a show. This has got to be, I told somebody today, I think this is the most fun and most excited I've been to do a show since the election. That is how wild today's stuff is. Oh man. All right. So we're going to get into it with this Trump Elon feud. It is unbelievable what happened today. Elon went there. So we're going to get started with that in a minute. First, I have something that really cool happened. Okay. So those of you who follow me for the stock stuff, we'll do Q&A on that at the end. All right. But I wanted to show you today, old BAM investor, he gave me a deal for his BAM model for you guys. All right. So anybody who watches this channel and uses a code ACE55 now will get access to BAM's Global Pro Plus for 55% off for the year. All right. So if you guys are interested in trading, by now you've seen how amazing BAM's analytics are, how his algorithm works. You've seen it. He's proven himself over and over again. And so if you guys are interested in this, full disclosure, he has given me a free membership to this. And so it's very generous of him, but he wants to extend it to all my viewers. 55% off, code ACE55. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, it is in the description below. Okay. And so you can click that link and sign up there if you'd like. But it's an awesome deal. And listen, if you want the best way to be an amateur trader with his algorithm helping you, this is the best chance you're going to get. So really cool. It's the first sponsorship I've accepted because I truly trust BAM and I know how good his stuff is. I know you guys know. So I want to throw that out there to you guys. Offer it to you. So again, ACE55 if you go to his site and sign up for the Pro Plus, and the link is down in the description. All right, so that's that. All right, so today, let's get going here. I love you guys. You guys know I love you. I'm not going to do the shout outs tonight. I want to get right into this. So I will shout out. Well, the first three, you guys earned it. Okay. Cass Sink, what's up? Kim Wiley, Alan Agajani, and you guys made it first three. Calling you guys out. I can't call out everybody else tonight. Too many, and we got too much to cover. But anyways, are you guys ready for this? You guys ready for it to get wild? So today, we know that Elon's been calling Trump out on the big, beautiful bill, saying it's not so big, not so beautiful. He's been very, very tough on it. All right. Well, then today this happened. This is how it kind of all started. And Trump had the prime minister from Germany here. And today Trump's asked about Elon. And this is what he had to say.
But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have all. We want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But he knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape.
Very fresh.
He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next.
That'll be next. You think so, Trump? Well, let me continue this real quick, because he had a little bit more to say, and I want to make sure we hear all of it.
He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Or did he?
Mr. President, did he? I just want to clarify. Did he raise any of these concerns with you privately before he raised them publicly? And this is the guy you put in charge of cutting spending. Should people not take him seriously about spending now? Are you saying this is all sour grapes?
No, he worked hard and he did a good job. And I'll be honest, I think he misses the place. I think he got out there and all of a sudden he wasn't in this beautiful Oval Office, and he's got nice offices too. But there's something about this one. I was telling the Chancellor, this is where it is. People come in here, even from Germany. They come in.
By the way, that's Trump saying that Elon misses the power. That's what he's saying right there.
And they walk into the Oval Office, and it's just a special place. It's, World War I, it started and it ended here, and World War II, and so many other things. Everything big comes right from this beautiful space. It's now much more beautiful than it was 6 months ago. A lot of good things are happening in this room, and I'll tell you, he's not the first. People leave my administration and they love us, and then at some point they miss it so badly, and some of them embrace it and some of them actually become hostile. I don't know what it is. It's sort of Trump derangement syndrome, I guess they call it, but we have it with others too. They leave and they wake up in the morning and the glamour's gone, the whole world is different, and they become hostile. I don't know what it is. Someday you'll write a book about it and you'll let us know.
So what foreshadowing that was. Isn't that interesting? So not long after this, couple hours maybe, there is a tweet storm that comes out from Elon, just one after the other. Like, he lied about the bill. I didn't know what was in it. Over and over again, just going for it. Just reaming Trump one after another until the big one dropped. And this is what ignited the internet on fire. Elon Musk, it's time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So Elon drops this, and quite literally X explodes. It was already getting heated, and then this happens, and it's insane. And now everything's breaking off, and in real time. Okay, it was hard to work because this is all happening in real time. It's just going crazy, and people are spouting off left, right. What's he mean? What's going on? Democrats are getting really excited, and Republicans are split. There's a bunch of people siding with Elon, saying like, I agree with Elon. He's right about the bill. This is a nasty spending bill, blah, blah, blah. And Trump's been failing us. I'm team Elon, and everybody's splitting up, and all these other people are rushing in and saying like, well, how does this even make sense? And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense even a little bit. You think about it. This is the richest man in the world, and he's acting like a child. He's just throwing stuff out there. Like, I mean, this is a big freaking deal, because on the Republican side, the MAGA side, we've been waiting for the Epstein files. We have a good idea of at least a few names in there. Okay, I've done a whole video on this. Thanks to people like Ryan Dawson, who've done extensive coverage of this, deep dived it. We know it's going to be, the Bill Clinton one's the obvious one, but there's some other names in there like Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman and Kevin Spacey. And there's some interesting names. Okay. Alan Dershowitz. We know all that, but we want to know who else, because we know there's some hidden. And so this is like, I mean, if it ever came out that Trump was actually in the Epstein files as one of the perpetrators of this abuse, it'd be over. It would destroy the MAGA movement. It would, because the MAGA movement's built on trust. It's issues, and we've adopted issues, and we put something together, but it's built on trust of the leader. It's if Trump isn't trustworthy, because he's earned our trust over the years by fighting for us in ways we've never seen a president fight, by getting stuff done we've never seen a president get done that they said they do, by still fighting even when he was thrown out of office, by undergoing the lawsuits, by not settling, by fighting, by taking a shot, getting up. I mean, the man has proven himself. He's never gone backwards. And so he's earned that trust. If we lost that trust, it would be over. So Elon spouts off the most insane thing that would absolutely devastate the party and this movement. But yet it doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. And let's start getting into those reasons. Number one, well, okay, before we get into those reasons, I'll say this, that Democrats who've never, ever called for the Epstein list before. Why? Because they know they definitely know some of their guys are on it. All right. They just want to sweep this under the rug. It's been a big conspiracy. Well, it took them all of 20 minutes to post this. Democrats kill the bill and release the Epstein files. So they finally do it. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, after all these months, years of pretending the Epstein file is nothing, the Democrats are finally just calling for it. And so you're like, okay, those who know, right? Is this all a setup? I don't know. I can't tell you that. I could tell you this. I could see a couple situations playing out here. Number one, it's as it looks. Elon is mad. Elon's being outed. He's what Steve Bannon's been saying all along. All right. Steve Bannon from the beginning has been saying he doesn't trust Elon. Elon's a mess. He's basically a sleeper agent. In fact, let me let Steve tell you what he said. He thinks of Elon.
go on
Really?
there. Oh yeah, no. He's owned by the Chinese Communist Party. What are you talking about? Tesla, his only thing of real value is Tesla. He uses it for margin loans. He sells the stock. The Shanghai joint venture is 100% controlled by the CCP. This is why he never goes after the CCP. This is why he always backs off. This is when they had the protest. They had the protest about the lockdowns of COVID. He will not do it. Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He is in bed in a business partner. He's done some good stuff, letting stuff out, with Taibbi and others. It's fine, but he is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party, and he acts like it.
There was a story recently that they warned him to stop talking about lab leak.
100%.
He's got, I think there was.
They wanted him to take down the tweets he did the first time. Now he didn't take them down, but you notice he didn't have any more up there after that.
And I wonder if he said, "Okay, I won't tweet more about it." But here's the issue I see with the CCP in the United States, and if the United States falters, if this fourth.
By the way, the CCP Chinese companies are all in the Silicon Valley Bank.
Oh yeah,
that's another thing they're already talking about. We think maybe up to a third of those innovative companies may be CCP.
So Bannon's been saying this from the beginning. So that's number one. Elon, Trump used him, let him get close, and then it's over. Like now it's time, Elon, you got to go. And Elon thought this whole time he was actually buying influence. He thought he was going to own Trump. He really did. And that's a possibility. That's possibility number one. That's the surface level possibility. Okay, maybe. It's possible. I could absolutely see it happening. Steve Bannon is right a lot. Okay. And then there's the other possibility that maybe this is a game. Maybe this is somewhat staged, and we're going to see Trump and Elon get back together before long. That's completely possible. And maybe, just maybe, they were using it to get the Epstein files out. But we'll talk about that in a second. First, though, let's address the fact of why this doesn't make sense. And what I was fascinated to watch, and actually very excited to watch, is that the internet X jumped into the people who know. Like I said, it jumped immediately into this doesn't make sense. Like, Trump, first of all, if Elon, if you knew Trump's in the Epstein files and it's a problem, why are you leaving your kid with him? Why would you do that? Why just now wait? So that doesn't make sense. Number two, what doesn't make sense is Trump. I showed you the clips. He basically set this up today to happen. So the timing's really interesting. Number three, just to go all out like this out of nowhere, that doesn't make sense either. But what's very interesting is also how the Democrats responded immediately. It's like they couldn't wait for it. So all this stuff, it just doesn't make sense, and we're seeing it unfold. But here's how people were responding to Trump being in the Epstein files. And again, if you knew, you knew. David Schoen. I was hired to lead Jeffrey Epstein's defense as his criminal lawyer 9 days before he died. He sought my advice for months before that. I can say authoritatively, unequivocally, and definitively he had no information to hurt President Trump. I specifically asked him. So there's Epstein's last lawyer. Very interesting. Very interesting. We got Pedro here. Pedro sees something. Our Pedro, our favorite Pedro. Great. Now Trump has air cover to release the Epstein files. Everyone knows he's in the files, but that doesn't mean he's diddling kids. If he wasn't, Elon knew it. Why did he let his kids near Trump? My guess, a whole lot of politicians and movie stars are shitting their pants. You think? You think? Let's keep moving. Eric Swalwell. Release the Epstein files now, just like on cue with the Democrats. Holy crap, it's working. Did we just psyop the Dems into demanding the release of the Epstein files? Be careful what you wish for. Nobody seems too worried, do they? If Trump was compromised by Epstein, why was he on the campaign trail in 2015 openly putting the spotlight on the island and connections to Prince Andrew and Clinton? Oh, here's the video. Let's play this.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein. A lot of problems.
Epstein in your remarks about in the Q&A.
Well, I think
with
he's got a
Sean.
problem. I mean,
What do you think the problem will be?
I don't know, but that island was really a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew. He'll tell you about it. The island was an absolute cesspool. So,
The Clintons are friends
and
of
he's been
yours,
there
right?
for many
The
times.
Clintons are friends
Well,
of
I
yours.
can't say friends, but I know
You're
them.
friendly. You know them.
They play at my clubs a lot. I have clubs, and everybody likes to play
Are you
at my
saying
clubs.
there's a political problem for her if she runs for president?
It could be a political problem. Look, he could be a political problem. Right now, he's Teflon, and right now, maybe not. But he could end up being a political problem.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy.
Does that look like a man who's worried about the Epstein files? He was getting ahead of it 10 years ago. Does that look like a man who's worried? I'm telling you, no, it does not. Laura Loomer. So here's the other possibility is that, well, it's not a possibility. It's actually happening. The possibility is whether or not it was planned. Here's what else is happening, though. This is reminding everybody who isn't MAGA. They're coming out of the woodwork. They're drawing out the cockroaches. Who's really MAGA? Who's not? Who's playing the game? This is and it's working. I'd like to remind everyone, Thomas Massie endorsed DeSantis for president. Rand Paul refused to endorse President Trump. Massie and Paul both opposed BBB. Now Ron DeSantis sent out this email attacking Trump. I wonder if Elon's going to fund Casey DeSantis' gubernatorial campaign. I'll be watching closely. Remember, Elon had supported DeSantis before Trump got shot. So don't forget that. Until Trump was actually the nominee, Elon was a big fan of DeSantis. And I'm sorry, you cannot tell me that this is coincidence. The fact that this email comes out from Ron DeSantis immediately after Elon's tweet dropped. Look at this. For Restore Our Nation, Ron DeSantis, he wants to be president so bad. And guess who else wants him to be president? The Republican establishment, the Romney-Ryan wing, the McConnell wing. They want Ron DeSantis. They betrayed the voters. We're fighting back. Elon Musk stood tall and took the hits to lead the fight on Doge. Interesting timing. Cutting wasteful spending, exposing bloated government programs. The media attacked him and left panic, but now even Republicans in Congress are backing down. Fully funding programs like USAID, abandoning their promise to make, by the way, that's a lie. They're not funding USAID. Governor Ron DeSantis isn't backing down. He launched Ron PAC to elect real conservatives won't cave to the swamp. This is also, you better believe it, to get him. He's trying to set himself up for 28. He's trying to set himself up for 28. Drops immediately after. Guess who's not mentioned in this email? Trump. They can't mention him negatively because Ron DeSantis is too clever for that, but they can avoid mentioning him. Very interesting stuff. A pro Elon email from Ron DeSantis right after this is dropped. Can you say bringing out the weasels? Here's more about how Trump is just not an Epstein. This guy talks about how Trump was the only one helping to go after Epstein.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, "Let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know," and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
And that was in 2009?
That was in 2009. The only thing that I can...
In 2004, Trump, or 2008, Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, bans him because he saw him going after a young girl, okay, hitting on a 16-year-old, I believe it was. So Trump bans him. And then he becomes the only man willing to talk and help them catch Epstein by talking to the prosecutors. So again, this is just It's ridiculous. Tim Pool sees it. Sharon Jack Posobiec. Trump was in Epstein files. It would have been released a decade ago. There wouldn't have been any need to make up a fake Russian hooker dossier. You telling me that Joe Biden wouldn't have released this to win the election? It makes no sense. They went after him 91 indictments after Trump to try to get him in prison for life and bankrupt him. Couldn't work. You're telling me they wouldn't drop the Epstein files? James O'Keefe sees through it immediately too. If it was something truly incriminating, wouldn't it have leaked already? There were too many incentives to hurt Trump. He even puts a signal down here. I'll report anything true and newsworthy. Well, he hasn't reported yet, so I don't think Elon's sending him anything. Jordan Sather, hey, this kayfabe is hilarious. If Trump was implicating Epstein drama, Epstein never would have been arrested during Trump's first term. Elon's post will now pressure Trump to speed up the release of the Epstein files to clear his name. Beautiful strategy between Trump and Elon here. Maybe that's what we're seeing. Dom Luker, Trump name being in Jeffrey Epstein files is no surprise to anyone in DC. They have known for a long time, but what's in those files are so pointless that it couldn't hurt Trump's election, which is why Democrats never touched it. They would have done more harm than good trying to associate Trump with any wrongdoing. His name being in the files could simply mean Epstein was at a Trump property or he rode his plane. Use whatever Democrats want to use in an attempt to damage Trump is dangerous. I do agree. And then here's a great quote right here. Watch closely. All the so-called MAGA and Trump loyalists who swore they didn't trust Elon are about to flip and start worshiping every post he makes about Trump. Thank you, Elon. You're about to expose every Trump pretender. I've been warning my audience about screenshots locked and low. Let the exposure begin. So this is what we're looking at. I'm telling you right now, I'm leaning towards this is a plan. I'm leaning that way because the timing of it is so suspect and the effectiveness is so strong. The fact that the Democrats are already calling for this is just, it's too good. It's just too perfect, and we have, this is what I think is actually very possible. Is this signal that Cash, Pam, Dan Bongino are done going through the new truckload of Epstein evidence of being hidden at the SDNY FBI field office? Because it sounds like signal that they're done going through the new truckload as being hidden. It sounds like signal. He's saying, is this signal? Because it sounds like it. I think it's possible they might have been ready to release the files. Or at least release everything they can about those files that isn't needed. And it's working because if the files had been released before, MAGA would have been stoked. MAGA, anybody right-leaning, very excited. And the Democrats would have hid. And they would have been like, we don't, whatever, it's conspiracy and it still isn't proof. And they would have been prepared, okay? They would have had something prepared to downgrade it. Now, it still would have been great, still powerful to get out there. Do not get me wrong on that. But this is the ultimate setup, if it is a setup. Because now you have the entire left and every establishment rhino Republican screaming for the files because they want Trump to finally be dethroned. Because don't get me wrong, if this comes out and Trump is a creeper, okay, if he's guilty, they have so much, it will ruin his presidency because MAGA will fall apart. He'll lose MAGA. The Democrats and enough Republicans will probably come together to impeach him because the Republicans will feel like they have to, and he won't have the support to fight back. It will end his presidency. Yes, J.D. Vance would then take over as president. And so it wouldn't be the end of the world. But at the same time, the MAGA movement just won't be the MAGA movement anymore. So that is just, it can't happen for us. I mean, it would suck. It would just, it would be the ultimate win. And they know that. And that's why they're drooling over this. They are so excited. This has got to be it. This has got to be the end. We finally got him. And they think they're going to turn our big weapon, our big ace in the hole, this Epstein list. They think they're going to turn it on Trump now, and that's their win. And they can't help themselves. I mean, so many have called it. We saw Harry Thithone call for it. The Democrats right here, Adam Swalwell, you name it. They're going crazy. They cannot wait. And now, wouldn't this be the best time to ever drop them? Because now everybody leftist is watching and demanding them. And that means the media as well. So what it means is you're going to get these files and it's going to be, here, you wanted them? Here you go. You guys asked for them. And then if Trump's not in there, or if all he's in there is a flight from Florida to New York, which I believe is all that's there, he's not in there. And yet all these other people are. And it turns out they're all Democrats, they're all celebrities, left-leaning celebrities, or they're all establishment types, rhino Republican types. And it would be the ultimate bomb. This is the best setup you could ever dream of. And so my brain, which is the way I think about these things, is so different than I used to, because it used to be I accepted everything at face value, 15 years ago. But I've learned, and I think most of you have too. Most things going on in front of us are not what they seem to be. Some are, but we've learned. This has so much to it. It's so juicy. It's so layered. It's so insane that I cannot believe it is what it looks like on the surface. I just can't believe it. And maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe Trump and Elon are completely done and it's over and Elon's going to get outed and all this stuff's going to happen and Steve Bannon's going to be right. And listen, I love Steve Bannon. I think he's right way more than not. But is it also possible this is all a ruse? Yeah. And there's a third possibility as well. It's a possible that Elon and Trump are actually having a major falling out. And it's just working out this way. There's so many things. Now, I think the evidence is overwhelming. We don't have to worry. I think the evidence is overwhelming that we do not have to worry about Trump and the Epstein files. It's my personal opinion. I have researched this extensively because I've seen some very compelling arguments made from interesting people, not just crazy leftists. And Trump was in that circle. And he did buddy with Epstein a little bit in the 90s, in the early 2000s. So yeah, there is some definite interesting stuff there that you could say, hey, maybe there is some there. And trust me, I didn't want to be all in on Trump without feeling that part of me was satisfied. I showed you guys what just popped up today, and there's more too. There's the whole story of him in Mar-a-Lago. Then there's the evidence we've seen with our own eyes, them trying to kill Trump, them trying to send him to prison, them trying to bankrupt him. You just don't do that if he's one of you. You just don't. Okay, so we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. To me, the evidence is overwhelming. We don't have to worry. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll stop my show, everything. It just, but I don't think we have to worry. But I think the Democrats do. So could this be the greatest accident of all time? And they use this to drop the Epstein files now, and it becomes one of the greatest political maneuvers in the history of American politics, maybe the world. Is that possible? I mean, I think it really could be. There's one other possibility I didn't talk about, and that's just that nothing's going to happen. That this will go on. Elon and Trump will fight. We'll never see the Epstein files, and everybody just leaves disappointed. It doesn't quite kill the movement, but it puts a dent in it, leaves us, and I just don't think this could be ramped up this much. I feel like now, because of this, it forces Trump to, if he wasn't planning on releasing the Epstein files, now it forces him to. Because if he doesn't, it's going to look horrible, way worse than it could have ever looked before. Because now the Democrats are calling for it. And it just, again, it seems a little bit too easy. It really does. To his credit, we got JD Vance out here picking a side quickly because there is a lot of this Elon, Trump, and so JD jumped out there right away. And then after Elon went nuts, okay, Trump dropped a couple things about like maybe we'll pull your contracts, maybe Biden should have done it. And then Elon was like, fine, I'll shut down my rockets right now, which is crazy because that's the only rockets the Americans have right now. NASA doesn't send anything up to space anymore. There's people in the space station right now. Imagine what they thought when they see this tweet that Elon's going to shut down the rocket. Whoa, bro, don't leave us up here. That's, it's wild. But after it got really spicy, Trump finally kind of ended it with this. He says, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion and the biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there'll be a 68% tax increase, things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm here to fix it. It puts our country on a path to greatness, make America great again. And here's the rub as well. Is this whole duel with Elon actually going to force the Republicans to get this bill done? Because they're going to have to that's kind of their way of making a public choice too, Trump or Elon. So this is the craziest thing. And anyways, I'm going to start getting into the chat because I see lots of questions and comments I want to go through. But, and also if you guys see, if anything news happened since I've been on here, because it's kind of one of those days, let's, you guys let me know. So I got lots of people in this chat saying XRQ says it's choreographed, always is with Trump. I don't know about always, but definitely often. Darday says Dems are being played and going to expose something. Yeah, and that, I mean, they're being played one way or the other. I really do believe. Stoney says it's absolutely chess. Darday says Trump 10 steps ahead. Jim says it's all reverse psychology. I'm going to put a poll up, okay, because I can obviously see a lot of you guys have strong opinions on this. So let's say, is this a setup to hurt the Dems more? All right. There you go. There's a poll for you guys all to vote on. Peter Joy asks, is Trump still able to post on X? I believe so. He almost never posts on X. Okay. He usually posts on Truth Social and then people share it on X. And he's kept it that way. And maybe he kept it that way for a reason. Maybe he never fully trusted Elon, or maybe he just wanted to keep his company afloat. I don't know. But so it's not going to really matter too much if he does. J Money says to further split up and destroy the Democratic Party, side with Elon against Trump or side with Trump against Elon. It's a lose-lose for the Democrats. Exactly. Big B believes it's coordinated. Looks like that's what everybody's feeling. Rumdog says people on the spectrum have difficulty with emotions. Elon's acting like a baby. That is true. And there is that there's that possibility that this is just Elon losing his mind. I'm not going to say that's not a possibility, but I gotta say, like at first, there was a lot of support for Elon being like, this is great. Elon's calling out this terrible bill. I side with Elon. There were polls everywhere. Like I side with Elon. And yeah, it was spicy. I mean, it was interesting too, just seeing like all these people, like you'd think they could see it. Like why side with the guy who's been mostly a leftist until recently, who is just a CEO who makes electric cars that very few people on the right, including libertarians, don't like. And yet they're like, no, we side with Elon now. So it's either they're bad actors or they were just looking for the first excuse to jump from Trump. As otherwise, it makes no sense. Trump's the one in charge. Trump's the one actually trying to fix our country. Trump's the one with the opportunity to fix our country. Elon can't do any of that. Not only is he not a politician, a powerful politician, he can never be president. He's South African. He's a foreigner, which Steve Bannon made the point that maybe he might even be an illegal immigrant, which that would be crazy. That would be so crazy if he got deported. And I don't think it would go to that length, especially because I don't necessarily believe this is all real. But there is a case to be made that he really is freaking out. He's about to lose billions of dollars because the subsidies for EVs are being taken away. His contracts, a lot of them are being lightened or canceled by the Trump administration. The EV mandate that was mandating electric vehicles by 2035 for almost everybody, that's gone away. So Elon, his whole business model just took major hits in the Trump administration recently. The tariffs hurt Elon because he imported his parts from China, a lot of them, for Tesla. So yeah, he's been getting beat up on his business. He stood up for the Trump administration. The stock went down because of it. The leftists went crazy, who used to be the ones buying all of it. He's monetarily, not that he needs it, he's the richest man in history, but he is taking a lot of hits financially. And so there is a case that he really is just done. And that's possible. It's possible that he did think he was going to buy Trump, or at least buy so much influence and be like he was another. So there's a case there. And that's why I'm not 100% sure they're in on it together. I'm not 100% sure. I'm leaning that way, but there is a strong case. Let's see here. What else are you guys saying? Big JR says it's impossible to get a bill that big passed with mostly good in it without having some BS, sadly. That's 100% true. And the reason is because you have so many politicians who still are playing games. They're still playing games. They're not going to do the right thing because they're afraid they'll lose power, or they're afraid their money will dry up. And because of that, you just can't get you cannot get a perfect bill through. Not when you have, now if Trump had 60 senators and he had 245 House members, then it's not an issue. He could get through almost anything he wanted, but that's not what the reality we live in. The reality we live in is we have a system where Congress has to pass bills in order for an agenda to be fully legislated into law. And because of that, you have to deal with the nonsense until Congress is fully purged, which I do believe, we've come a long way even since 2016. Congress is still awful, but it's 20% less awful than it was then. And in the next election, it'll be 5% less awful, 10% less awful. The next election after that, another 10%. We are slowly weeding out Congress. Part of the problem is Congress is staggered, especially the Senate. They have 6-year terms. So if somebody just got in who's not great, like a Susan Collins, we got to wait 6 more years till we have a chance to replace her. It's our system, but that system also protects us. So the system that protects us also slows us down when we're trying to fix things. That part's hard. The one way it doesn't lead to that, and it could be done quickly, is if there's a bunch of crimes uncovered and they can get these people out. And yes, some of them will still be replaced by people who aren't great, but at least they be fresh and they want to be embedded before. So, it's a problem. And so JR is absolutely right. You have to deal with the crap, but this bill has to pass. And I'm hoping it gets a little bit better once the Senate sends it back. But the thing is that the tax cuts are a must. We have to do that if we're ever going to have our economy get better. So the tax cuts have to be put into law. If there's a major tax hike next year when the economy still isn't that strong, it will destroy our economy. So that absolutely has to be done. And that will be one of Trump's greatest legacies, is getting that permanent. All right. So the tax cuts have to be done. The border has to be done. They need the resources to fully keep up what they're doing and also be able to get out all the people we need to get out. So that's a must. It does cut spending. It puts work requirements in for Medicare. There's a lot of good stuff in this bill, a lot of good stuff. The people crying that it's not balancing the budget immediately, they're either stupid or they're bad actors. And yes, I'm looking at you, Thomas Massey and Rand Paul. You are either stupid or you're bad actors. Because if you really wanted what you say you want it wouldn't be everything right now. That's just not how life works. That's not how you do things with your family. It's not how you do things in business. It's not how you do things in politics. You move the ball forward. And you guys know it. And so Republicans sticking up for this, like, oh, it's not perfect, so I won't vote for it. They're lying. They're absolutely lying. They're playing games or they're stupid. And so I've called out Massey several times before. He's a total fraud. He's a total fraud. And he gets lauded for it, but that's fine. He can be popular in his own little wing and just be the least powerful man in politics. If that's what he wants his career to be, fine. We're getting stuff done without him. But there are cuts in this bill. And the work requirements for Medicaid are huge. And besides, this bill doesn't even deal with discretionary spending. So you have to do multiple things. You have to do rescission bills. And so they're lying to you when they say that this bill, because it doesn't cut everything, it's messed up. The other day it came out, they say this bill will add 2.4 trillion to the debt over 10 years. First of all, that's based on a 1.7% growth rate every year for 10 years. That's asinine. If this bill's passed, the growth rate should soar in the next couple of years, especially if we go through the fix we need to go through in our economy. We could be looking at 3, 4, 5% a year for the next few years, which that eliminates a lot of debt. And also the CBO scored Trump's tariffs as bringing in 2.8 trillion over the next 10 years. So already with just the tariffs and the bill as it is, we don't add to the deficit over the next 10 years. That they don't talk about that. They're not telling you that. So it's so many lies. It's so many lies. Boswell said Epstein invested with Palantir or Peter Thiel. Really? Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Epstein's money was all over the place. Okay. He was trying to buy influence everywhere. And so some of it stuck, some of it didn't. Vince says Ban was all over Elon from Go. He said he's beholden to China. Yeah, I played that clip. I did. Robert Salsey says the bill will pass, guarantee now. I think it's always going to be. And yeah, Big B, I've not read the bill. Nobody's read the whole bill, but I did process it through Grok and asked it a lot of questions. So I know most of what's in there, at least the most important stuff. I'm not going to close the poll. We'll see where it goes. It's 60%. That's fine. Everybody's allowed to have different opinions here. Bruce says this splits MAGA. See, I completely disagree with you. I completely disagree with you on this. This splits people who this weeds out people who aren't really MAGA, that still voted for Trump, that couldn't stand Kamala. That's all true. Okay, those people are being weeded out, and that's fine. We want to know who they are. We want to know who the true believers are. We want this to be. We want situations like this to galvanize MAGA, to strengthen MAGA, and that's what it's doing. MAGA is not going to be split over this. I guarantee you, there is not one MAGA person who's been with Trump since 2016 or even 2020. Not one of them are turning and saying, well, I'm on Elon's side. Not one. You know who I'm seeing say, like, I'm on Elon? A bunch of the wishy-washy Republicans who couldn't help but they have to vote for Trump or ruin their careers. And a bunch of the libertarian types who are just like, well, I'll vote for Trump, but I'm just going to complain the entire time he's president. They drive me nuts. Again, I'm mostly libertarian. If you just ask my views and we just went by my policy views one by one, I lean more libertarian than anything else. I have a couple of things that are definitely not libertarian, but if you want to especially get into economics, I'm very libertarian. But I cannot stand the political party of libertarians and the people who, not all the people, I mean, I love a lot of libertarians, but the mindset that we're just going to complain about everything and never get anything done. And that if you don't do exactly what we want you to do and exactly cut all taxes and exactly balance the budget and exactly get everything out of my life so I can do whatever the heck I want. If you don't do all of that, I can't support you. It's so stupid. It's like, we live in a society you have to advance. It's like George Costanza. We live in a society. You advance a little bit at a time to get where you want to go. And that's the brilliance of MAGA. That's the brilliance of the people who are actually with Trump. I support Trump like crazy. I haven't seen the stuff I want from him all the way yet. There's many, many more things I want to see happen in our country. But I'm seeing the ball advance. I'm seeing the ball advance in ways I never saw for my entire life. I've been following politics for 25 years. I'm a junkie. My college major was poli-sci, not because I had a plan to become a lawyer, but because I was bored out of my mind in college and my other majors. I did 5 majors before I finally settled. 5. Started as an English major because I wanted to be a writer. Lame. Went into computer science because I was like, well, I love computers. I'm techie. I guess I could build computers and make decent money doing that. Nope. That advanced math, not for me. Took 2 years off, came back as a kinesiology major. I said, I'm going to be a basketball coach because I coached a private school team where I didn't need to have my certification. I coached them. It was awesome. I loved every second of it. I was like, I love sports. Kinesiology major. Went to kinesiology. It was awful. Nothing about coaching, all about the body. I was like, get me out. Went to Bible studies. Was like, did that for two days. The teachers at my college were super liberal. They told me on day 1, in this class, you will call God a she or it. We won't refer to him what the patriarchy refers to. I said, get me the hell out of here. And so I settled on political science because I was like, I'm reading 50 political books a day right now. I read history. I listen to politics. I follow it. I'm fascinated by it. I was like, at least I'm interested in this. I'll just make that my major. I went through, I didn't even have to study because I was already reading so much. I aced all my classes. It was the easiest thing I ever did because I just knew it. This is something I know and I do since I was a teenager. And my whole life following it closely, praying and voting and talking. Nobody did anything. Get a small win every once in a while. And then Trump came along and it was like, no more excuses. We're getting it done. The best feeling ever as a conservative Christian who wants to see our nation get back on track. Common sense. I don't agree with Trump on everything, but I don't care because it's all going in a better direction. And that's how MAGA is. MAGA is pragmatic. We're pragmatic. We get it. We understand. You don't do it all in a day. But as long as you're fighting for us, we're with you. And that's what I hate about the libertarians because they don't do that. They just complain all day long. It's what I hate about the establishment Republicans because they just wanted to keep the gravy train rolling of their power. And obviously I hate the Democrats because the Democrats in power because all they want to do is destroy our nation and remake it into something disgusting. So that's it. And so MAGA is all we got. So you're not splitting MAGA because guess what? MAGA are the true believers. MAGA is not leaving. MAGA trusts Trump and will trust Trump unless it turns out that he was diddling little girls. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. But that's it. Literally nothing else could make us, well, I'm sure there's a few other things, but nothing else that's feasible could get us there. So they think they're splitting MAGA. No MAGA person's on Elon's side. I'm sorry. It's not true. Trump voters might choose Elon right now in this fight, but no MAGA people really are. And by the way, 3 months ago, MAGA, people got polled on their ideology in America. Liberal, conservative, libertarian, green, and MAGA. And there was probably a couple others in there. MAGA won overwhelmingly. The most Americans in America, a plurality and a strong plurality, 36%. Over 1/3 of Americans didn't say, I'm a libertarian who voted for Trump. I'm a conservative who voted for Trump. I'm a Republican. They said, we're MAGA. That, my friends, is a big deal. And that's why we're going to win this because nobody can stop us if we stick together, and we will stick together. Hero at Large with the $10 donation. Thank you, Hero, for the super chat. It says, great show tonight. I greatly appreciate that, Hero. I really do. I am watching the chat, guys. So if you want to throw anything out there for me, I'm sorry I can't see you if you're on X. And I know there's not that many people watch on Rumble, but if you are watching and you got a question or a comment, throw it in the chat. I'll do my best to give you guys some time, because obviously I know this is a subject that a lot of people have feelings about. A lot of people have feelings about. Just like, why would we want to deport George Costanza? He's a national treasure. Steak and Gravy says, if anything, it was Rogan that pushed Trump over the finish line, not Elon Musk. He really had it before either of them were even involved. Steak and Gravy, I will say that I do believe, I would agree with you that Rogan had a bigger influence than Elon, but he did not push him over the line. He did not push him over the line. And I will show you something. And if you guys watched my show, okay, by the way, while I'm looking some up, will you guys just take a second, please like and subscribe. I get shadow banned a lot. Sometimes my channel breaks out of it, or I'll have a video break out of it. And I know I'm shadow banned. I work in marketing. I know, I can tell by the analytics. I get more likes on my videos than channels that have 20 times more viewers than me, more subscribers than my channel. I get more likes, and yet YouTube will not push my videos. And so if you do, though, if you don't mind, the one way to break through is just to keep at it. And because every once in a while we break through their algorithm. So if you guys don't mind, take 1 second, like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe if you don't mind. If you're on X or Rumble, please do the same. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're on X, you could even repost, and I would really, really appreciate that. All right, let me find this. I wanted to show you guys something, just to show you. Right. Okay, here. And this is something that I just want to show you, that it was not Rogan who pushed Trump over the hump. In fact, there was nobody pushed Trump over but Trump. And here it is right here. And I'm telling you, as somebody who saw it from the beginning. I did this video last February. The polls were so overwhelming historically for Trump that I titled my video, Trump is almost guaranteed to win. That was last February. Trump never fell out of where he was going to win the entire year. Even when Kamala had her surge in August, she still was not polling where she needed to win based on where Trump had won before. She never crossed that threshold, not once. Biden, obviously, not even close. But the point is that if you watched this channel or a few other channels that knew what they're talking about, you knew the entire election Trump was going to win. The entire election. Because the numbers were so overwhelmingly in favor for Trump. Okay. When Rogan interviewed Trump, it did not push Trump over. What it did is it sealed even further a victory he had. Okay. And so I just want to make this clear, because Elon did say, without my money, Trump wouldn't have won. BS. It's total nonsense. Trump won such a strong victory. He was already geared up to win it. And I did my first video guaranteeing his win in February. Okay. So just to show you guys that if you know what you're seeing, if you know what you're looking for, we can see everything. Well, almost everything. We can't see everything, but we can see most of everything. But the narrative that's out there drives me nuts, that Trump was pushed over the line. Not saying that's your fault. I'm saying it's their fault for playing that narrative. Okay. And it just drives me nuts, because Trump was winning the whole time. So greetings from Sweden. What's going on? 6 hours ahead. What time is it there? 6 a.m. Dang. Well, thank you for watching. Drop TF says it's hard to trust any of the polls. No, it's not. Not if you know what you're looking at. it's hard to trust many polls, but there are some polls that are legit, that were right on the entire time. Rich Baris's big data poll nailed it. The entire year was on it, and then nailed the election. Rasmussen polls nailed it. Correct the whole election. Atlas Insights nailed it. Trafalgar nailed it. Those are 4 polls that nailed it. And the way I knew was not just from those 4 pollsters, because they're all very good, but it's because the Real Clear Politics aggregate told me exactly what I needed to know the entire year, because all you had to do was look at the averages and compare it to previous years. Okay. If you saw that, and I showed you guys, everybody here who's been watching me for 2 years, by the way, you guys are the best. I have the absolute best audience in the world. I love you guys. Many of these people have been watching me for the full 2 years. I know a lot of you guys now. You're the best. So thank you for supporting me this whole time. Those who were here with me through the election knew I went over the polls daily, and I told them every day, guys, we got this. This is not in danger zone. Okay. I called out the Seltzer poll, didn't I, Hero? He says the Iowa poll didn't nail it. I called it out as soon as it came. This was not going to. This is a lie. This poll's a lie. And I told him it was not only a lie because it had Trump down 7 points. I told him, I said, I will go to Trump by 10 points minimum. It'll be a double-digit win. He won it by 18 points. So the point is, guys, if you know what you're doing, it's easy to see. The whole reason we do this channel, okay, is to cut through the media BS, to cut through the spin, to show you that data is out there, the knowledge is out there. If you combine context, history, and actual data, if you combine those 3 things, you can almost always tell what's going on for real, the actual thing that's happening. You don't have to listen to anybody explain it to you. And because most people don't have the time to collect all those things, I do, not because I have a lot of time, but because I'm a maniac. And I just, my brain, the way it works, I can be accumulating data while at the same time working. That's why I do this show, because all this stuff gets in here and I have to get it out. Okay. And I'm just so fortunate that I happen to be talking about a subject that I'm mostly right on most of the time. Obviously I get some stuff wrong. Everybody does. But anyways, this is not about me. I don't know how I got to start talking about me so much. Sorry, guys. Sorry for that. That was a big diversion. But my whole point in this is that there's so many lies they're trying to push even now. And one of the lies the libertarians are trying to push, and when I say libertarians, I don't mean if you're a libertarian, I don't mean you. I mean the party, the people that reflect the Libertarian Party, okay? The establishment Republicans, the Ron DeSantis supporters, they're all trying to tell us right now that Elon was the true hero in all this, that Elon is the whole reason we won the election, that Elon is the one who's right. And they're exposing themselves as they do so. But that narrative, don't fall for it. And the left obviously wants you to believe that too, because they want you to believe that Trump sucks and the only way he could ever have done this is with help like Elon. It's all a lie. But we don't listen to the left, so I don't need to cover them. You guys are too smart for that. Telegram says I'm like the BAM model for politics. I'll take that. That's a great compliment. Thank you very much. Butters says this is a reach. Could this have been done to get the financial terrorists to go overboard and collect a lot of data against them? Trump and Elon stocks both suffered as a result of this. Butters, what I would say is that there might, if this is staged, or even if it's not staged, but it was predicted this would be used. The Epstein thing is absolutely number one because it just came out. It's too obvious. But is it possible there's multiple layers? That is absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Would I say it's likely? Probably not. Probably not. Vinman said, could Bam post some videos showing his program? I think he has several times, Vinman. He's got a YouTube. If you go to his YouTube, he has videos where he's used it. Steak and Gravy said, I started stopping in here when you were doing stocks and you turned the page. I stayed because I like mine. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. So again, Brett says, you mentioned the libertarians. Can we throw the oligarchs in there somewhere? Well, obviously the oligarchs. Yeah. My word for the oligarchs usually is oligarchs when I say that. Okay. So, Chris says there's no way this is real. Two men in their positions wouldn't be doing this in public if they really felt this way. It's got to be coordinated, planned like a movie. Why? It's impossible. Yeah. Chris, I'm laughing because I mostly agree with you. And you're right. It is insane. It is insane. Thank you, Butters. Hey, he says video quality is great tonight. You know what I changed, Butters, to fix it? Nothing. It was Rumble the whole time, which is super annoying, but hopefully they fix their stuff. So back to you, Chris. Listen, I agree with you. It's too crazy. It's too crazy. The most, oh, now it's blurry. Awesome. The most powerful man in the world and the richest man in the world literally fighting over nonsense and fighting in a major way that in other situations could ruin careers. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, let me pull this up because this is just one more fun little layer to it all. You guys ready? Of course you are. Here's one more fun little layer. Trump is addressed, and he says this after Elon is done tweeting. So listen to this. This is very interesting.
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion now, very private. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And thank you very much, media. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You guys catch that?
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion.
He's asked about Elon. Okay, what's going to happen with Elon? This is his response.
Yes. We're going to have a little discussion now, very private. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And thank you very much, media. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, any response to Elon Musk?
Just a little quip, a short answer, but very interesting. We're going to have a little discussion, a private discussion. So this means to me one of two things. A, Trump is kind of letting us in on the joke a little bit. We're going to talk about what happened today. Or he's saying things went too far and now I got to tell Elon that he's done. He's done. That's literally what's going to happen. It's one of those two outcomes. And we can all guess as to what that is. Brett says 113 likes out of 200 viewers. We can do better, guys. Please take a second, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I greatly do. Thank you, Brett, for reminding me. Big JR says, I never dreamed years ago I'd be on a little handheld media device talking with a guy named Butters when I was watching South Park. Poor Butters. I've been going through South Park again. I'm in season 10 right now. It's just the greatest show. But Butters, man, I forgot how mean his parents were to him. They just beat the snot out of that poor kid. Queefer says, if this is coordinated, this is literally the Ocean's 11 of politics. And I agree with you. And listen, sometimes some of the stuff that I even lean towards believing, I have trouble convincing myself it's real because it's just crazy. It is. I agree with you. But we've seen so much these last few years that I'm okay with believing crazy things now because we've seen so many crazy things. It doesn't mean I believe everything crazy. In fact, sometimes you guys put stuff in the chat where I'm like, what the heck are you guys thinking? There's no way that's real. But, but we got to be open. Elon, just a couple months ago, said that he loved Trump more than he'd ever loved a man. He said, no homo. He had to, the old 90s precursor there. No homo, bro, but I love you. So, but that's what Elon said. When him and Trump Talk to Hannity in the interview. They looked like best friends. Okay. And again, the case for Elon actually going off or actually turning heel, there's a good case. There's a lot of reasons why he might go mad, but it just ultimately, it's very difficult for me to think somebody who was getting along so well with Trump could turn this psycho this fast. It just doesn't make sense. Elon, honestly, he really has nothing to gain from it. Like, what do you gain from calling out the most powerful man in the world and the leader of the most powerful movement in the world in 100 years at least? What do you get for calling him out? It can only hurt you in your business. It's insane. Big B says, he said, thank you to the media, hates the media. Did they take his bait? Maybe. Butter says, they told me numerous times not to have liposuction surgery in the den. Oh, gross. Darday says, we can get to 150 likes. I believe it. Like, guys, smash that like. Big JR says, did I see Fox News report about Trump Elon call scheduled for tomorrow? What? Okay. Let's look this up, shall we? Trump Elon call. Whoa, the Pacers won game 1. Well, nobody saw that coming. Okay, here it is. We have Benny Johnson. Trump's team, Trump and the White House aides signal a possible detente with Musk. So arrange a call with Elon Musk tomorrow. So interesting. That'd be very funny if they just flipped it around that fast and dropped the Epstein list tomorrow. I don't think it's coming tomorrow. Let me just be honest. But I do think they set the stage for it to come soon. I do. And I also think that Trump can't wait now much longer. It just can't. They're going to have to, even if they're not ready to release it because it is tied up in legal stuff, they have to give something. They have to do something because what Elon did was just too big. Big Jar says, no homos, drawing a line in the sand just in case. Yeah, just in case somebody's getting a little weird. Just in case somebody's getting a little freaky. Butter says, unless Elon has huge political aspirations, he devastates Dems and plays his card to dethrone Trump. Yeah, he can't dethrone Trump. It's anybody. Listen, and I'm not saying this is not to talk down to you because it's a legitimate question. But any like political pundit or person who should know better throwing that out there, saying that Elon is somehow more powerful than Trump is insane. It's an insane argument. Elon is not nearly as powerful as people want to make him out to be. The left elevated him to make him sound like he was super powerful because they wanted to create the fiction that Elon bought Trump and Trump's a stooge and he bought the election. They wanted to do that. They wanted to think it. Oh, Butter says, I don't think he is. I think Elon thinks he is. Maybe. And that's interesting. But there are a lot of people saying that same thing, Butters. And it's just not possible. Trump is not only the most powerful man in the world because of the presidency, he's the most powerful man in the world before he was president. Because Trump has more people loyal to him, more people looking to him for leadership, more people looking to him for inspiration than any other living human being in the world. That's just a fact. Trump commands great power, and he actually wields it very generously and humbly. And that's not something you'll hear very much. But if any politician in modern times that before Trump or had the same power Trump had, they would have used it for much more evil. If Obama had anywhere near the loyalty and passion following him that Trump did. He got more votes in that first election. Don't get me wrong. But that was a wave election for a lot of reasons. And it was we want to see something different election. But it didn't turn into we love Obama. In fact, Trump's approval ratings right now are higher average than Obama's in his second term. Trump is at like 47.8 and Obama was at 47.2 at the same point. And so that power that Trump has, I believe it's a gift. I believe it's something that only could have happened if he truly was on the right side of history. If God had blessed him to do this, I really do. So, anyways, having said all that, Elon doesn't have anywhere close to the power he would need to do anything major here. All he can do is create some hiccups. But here's the thing. We've watched this for 10 years now. People who try to destroy Trump get destroyed. And there's no reason. Well, Trump right now is literally the most powerful he's ever been. If anybody thinks they're going to go up against Trump and not get broken like glass, they're fooling themselves. They're fooling themselves. Drop TF says, what is going on with Peter Schiff? I don't know. What's going on with him? What do you say? Steak and Gravy says, I'm still not convinced Trump isn't a time traveler. Well, there's that. Strayhorn says, remember, Doge isn't just Elon. It's made up of whiz dudes figured out how to read burnt skulls from Pompeii. I know. No, Doge is very cool. Do I expect what? I don't think so. Interesting. Tomorrow's phone call, you're fired. Yeah, well, he's already been fired, so there's that. Alan says, we all know how the rich have courts. Trump's likes to be in the headlights. Courts. Elon's a little different. I don't know what you mean by that, by courts. Sorry, Alan. Toe says Trump has the anointing, Elon not so much. I agree. Yeah, I completely agree. If it turns out Trump's a time traveler, I mean, I don't even know what I believe anymore. I just don't think that's going to happen. Schiff outed himself as a PDF file. Did that just happen now? Let me look up Peter Schiff. I'm not seeing any new posts from Peter Schiff. So I don't know. I don't know what you're looking at. Peter Schiff is kind of annoying. I'll say, he's such a doomer about everything, and it's only his way or nothing else works. He's a very smart man, but he's got some annoying stuff. But I don't know what you're talking about, Drop TF. I don't know. But anyways, guys, it has been crazy. Rich have corks. The rich have corks. Oh, quirks. Quirks. I think you mean quirks. You all know the rich have quirks. Trump likes to be in the headlights. Well, Trump loves the fight. Yeah, Trump loves the fight. He's a man. He is not afraid. He's just built for this. Elon's not. Elon's not built the same way. Elon's good at trolling. Elon's he's okay in a battle of wits, but he's not the fighter Trump is. He's just not the fighter Trump is. So, all right, guys, on that note, I got to get to bed. I'm exhausted, but this is great. Members, I know we didn't have a live last night. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to make it up to you either tomorrow night or Saturday. So if you want to join and become part of the members only lives and get in the Discord, you can hit the join button here on YouTube, or you can go to the Patreon that's in the description and join that way. So I greatly appreciate the support. Members Live, we're going to revisit some of the conspiracy stuff, and we're going to rank the most likely conspiracies to be true versus the ones that are insane. And Eric's going to be back with me as well. So we should have a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Again, if you're into trading, and I'm sorry about Finger GBUX, I just don't have anything to say on them tonight, really. GBUX, the dividend should be in your things tomorrow, I believe. Our portfolios tomorrow, and hopefully it turns around soon. Finger, we're just waiting. DJT the same. So, anyways, but BAM, if you guys want to trade, if you want access to his algorithm on those stocks, how they move, when they're going to go up, when they're going to go down, when his signals fire off, buy, sell, if you want all of that on our stocks and much more, go into the description, click the link and use the code ACE55 and you get 55% off his model for the entire year. It's a great deal. It's a deal where you can make a lot of money if you learn his system, and he's got videos for it too. So anyways, I hope those of you who are into trading take advantage. I think it'll be great for you guys. I think crypto's in the model as well, Dar Daddy. So anyways, guys, let's do what we always do and end in a prayer because we obviously need it. All right. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God, what a day. What a wild, wild day. Father, I pray that whatever's happening, whether the feud's real, whether it's concocted, whether it's somewhere in between, I pray, God, that it's used for good. I pray, God, that you protect Trump and the administration to get done what they need to do. I pray that, God, that Elon becomes a better good to the world and, than he is acting right now. I do pray, hope that it's not what it seems. But I pray, God, that we get justice, we get exposure, and that this really is leading towards what a lot of us think it could be. So I pray for that. I pray for justice in our nation. And Father, we just bless our country. We're getting back on the right track. And I pray that that's continued through to the end so we can truly leave a better nation to our kids and grandkids and even get to experience some of it ourselves in the next few years. And so, and I bless everybody in this chat. Thank you, Lord, everybody watching. Thank you for them. Bless them. I pray their lives are better. I pray that they get the miracles they need, whether it's in health, finances, relationships, whatever it is, that you're there for them. And I thank you for them. So just bless them, bless us all, and pray for a blessed night and a great day tomorrow as well as we go into a weekend. So in Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Brett says, does the Discord link need to be updated? You know what? I'll just go ahead and post one anyways for newer members. So look for a message, members, to pop up if you need a Discord link. I'll just post that here in a second. But yeah, the mods are doing great. Thank you guys. JR says, let's talk JFK and the recent attending doctor testimony and conspiracy. I mean, I'm up for anything, Big JR. I'm up for that. So thank you, old man. All right. God bless you guys on YouTube, Rumble, X. Take care. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Subscribe before you leave. Please like and subscribe before you leave. I appreciate it. Good night. Take care.